Hey y'all, it's Michael. Alright, so the first book that I finished is Chlorine by Jade Song. This was actually the first book that I was like in the middle of from my first video for this series thingy. And I was completely correct when I was talking about this on the swing. When I said I think this is just gonna be like an okay book, and in the end it was literally okay. This is about Ren, who is basically thinking she is a mermaid of a swim club, swimming team in high school, and basically what I thought what it was going to be isn't what it ended up being. Because I say that the first quarter of this book is actually pretty good. It has this very fantasy, mystical type of thing where it's really questioning where is she a mermaid or is she not? Because she gives a lot of references about like mermaids in culture and history and like how she connects to the water and whatnot. But I think this book really falters after that part, like after probably the first, I would say probably 50 pages around there. Because after that, it's fine. It is just middle of the road. I would give this probably like a 2.5 out of 5. It's literally in the middle. At that point where it's just like a becoming, like a growing up, coming of age story, I think it's just average. Like nothing really for me stands out. And I felt like as the story went along, the writing just got more like it kind of changed. I don't know what happened, but it had a different like cadence and a different like sense. Like something about it was just it wasn't like what the first quarter of the book um presented. This book really left me in the middle because there are parts in here that like one part that I thought was going to do something beyond more than what it was this introduction of a second like point of view essentially, and it doesn't really go anywhere. And in the end I felt like the destination and the journey wasn't even like it was just fine. And you can see where the story like halfway through is going to go. And there is one part in here I'm not especially like towards the end violent and like I was like whoa, like you're actually doing it. But I think this story also introduces like things, but it just never is fully covered. And I think that overall, just the story in general just really doesn't push it far enough. But it does do some nice things, like I mentioned in the last video, especially this like in your face type of subject, especially when she talks about like her period and then some of the swimming team, like this brutality of like what their bodies are going through essentially, because since that is like relating to her as she's becoming a mermaid. I thought that part was, wasn't that bad, but in the end I think that is just average. Like because this is a book that I wouldn't actually like recommend and be like, oh my god, you need to read it. I think it's just fine. And it's one of those books where it's like, okay, if you see it, then okay, but if you don't, like, if you read it, in the end, this book is like more of a coming of age story, and I feel as though that other stories have done it a little bit better. This I felt like I've had one of those moments where I was, especially like took the 3 quarters of the book, is just like I felt like we were already threading similar waters, no pun intended. And it just never. I felt like it was never pushed far enough for it to be that level of like outstanding. So there's that. It's a beautiful day though. Did currently just finished the Premonition by Banana Yoshimoto, translated from Japanese by Asa Yoneda. I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. I think this was not good. I did not like this at all, and it is only like it's only like 133 pages. Yeah, this was not good. This is first off, let me just say, writing wise, translation wise, it's fine. Like it's just there's nothing like really like flowery language or like anything really. It's kind of just like almost too simple in my opinion. This is about Yaoi, who has these feelings and these like these connections about her family and especially with her aunt, and it basically goes from there. One thing that I do like about this though is that I gave it like 1.5 I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. I don't think it's a book to recommend, to be honest. Is that it has this vibe that's very like mysterious. It goes also along with the writing. It's very like short, succinct, just like cut to the point type of writing. There's no descriptions of anything. It's just like to the point. Here we go. Very mysterious, especially in the beginning. And it has just like this, like what's going to happen? Is this really what's happening? And also towards the end, that feeling kind of does feel, without giving too much away, justified, because it kind of has like a conclusion that is actually very like, I was like, oh, because it has a way of like, the revelation is, it makes you think one way, and it has this like very ooh type of feeling. The 2/3, like 2/3 of this, it goes through like direct, like I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, whoa, pump the brakes, okay? It has a whole bunch of a whole bunch of revelations just start happening for no reason, and I was like, what is going on? And it just feels, I was like, this was just, at that point I was just like, this is absurd, like this is just what, it was just it that's what I was looking like at the coffee shop when I was reading this. I was just like, wait, what? Like it just starts to throw things. It almost felt, okay, it almost felt like it was just like throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. Because there's some of the plot lines on here was just like this. It felt so unnecessary, and for it to be this short, it felt really long. At one point, I was just like, okay, I'm ready for this to be over with. Low key, this is an example of where this could have been a short story, and I think it would have been better. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I kind of didn't like it. But the vibes, again, the vibes I like. This feeling of not knowing what's going on, but everything else besides that, I was like, okay, this. I didn't like it. Okay. Most of the times I don't mind the absurdness of like crazy things happening, but so yeah. I don't know, can y'all see me? the lighting is back since I'm putting on, so I'm gonna put on sunscreen, duh, while I put on the sunblock. So the book I'm gonna read is, can y'all see it? It's The Buccaneers by Edith Wharton. That's a tongue twister for me. So I'm reading this book because, well, I started watching back Bridgerton, and so I was like, ooh, because I started on it, and then I finished the first season, but then I didn't continue as I was like watching it like as it happens. And now with the third season, the part 2, because nowadays they break it up into 2 parts, which is beyond me. So I actually caught up, so I'm waiting for part 2 of season 3, and it reminded me how much I love The Gilded Age. If you ever watch it on HBO Max, it's amazing. It's such a good show. And I was like, oh, I really missed that show. But then I found out that Apple TV has its own kind of like show like that. So it's with the Buccaneers, similar to like that type of show. So I'm gonna watch that after I watch, because I'm watching Queen Charlotte, which is like a story for the Bridgerton thing. I'm almost done with that, and so I was like, oh, I want to watch the Buccaneers, but I thought I would read it. Come to find out, no, this is by Edith Wharton, but come to find out, y'all, she didn't complete it. It's completed by, this one is Marion Manwaring. It looks like maybe she passed away before she had a chance to complete it, so I'm gonna read that. And then I also, now I wonder if Warden left some sort of manuscript. She had to, otherwise, I mean, how else are you gonna know what's gonna happen? But I also got like a collection of her books, like it was like in a bind up, and it had like The Age of Innocence and something else, The House of Mirth, and then another story on there. So I'm gonna read it, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling it right now, so I thought I would read that and just chill and relax. All I know about the Buccaneers is kind of like with the Gilded Age. It's like the new money versus the old money type of situation. So we'll see. I am on the hold for The Duke and I, which is what Bridgerton is based upon. Hold on, I need more on my face. Y'all, put sunblock. I gotta put sunblock everywhere, y'all. It is hot, and here it's really hot. And here's the thing, y'all. The gag. This probably ain't gonna be the hottest day of. This ain't the hottest. It's gonna still get hotter. In Georgia, it gets even hotter than this. So let me put this on. Just gonna chill and relax. No kids today. Yay! Sometimes people forget to put it on their hair. I always put sunscreen because you never know. Okay, this is like, and the ears. It's because, I mean, this is like the top of your head. Okay, I'm gonna go. All right, y'all. I've been reading for about 30 minutes, so I'm just taking a break because I usually like to read about like 20-30 minutes and then take a break and then go back at it again. Y'all, this is nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's really nice. What y'all been doing? I feel like I haven't been too much into the book community, especially like last week, so I'm slowly trying to get back into it and get back to reading normally, regularly. So that's the plan. We'll see. I'm not gonna lie, that book, The Buccaneers, it's pretty good so far. I'm liking it. It has that style that I love about like that type of writing. Yeah, look how pretty it is. It's a beautiful day. All right, so I'm gonna keep on reading.